let's talk about the medium risk category, which is actually very unique in its approach. No other country in the world has designed a system the way the FDA did to address these mid-range devices. Class 2 devices are brought to market by claiming and proving to the FDA that your device is, quote, substantially equivalent to another device, or what they call a predicate device, which is already on the market and has the same indications for use as yours. So you're putting them side by side and saying ours is substantially equivalent to theirs. The process for convincing the FDA that your device is substantially equivalent is through preparing and submitting a large set of documents collectively called a pre-market notification, but it's far more commonly known by its reference to the section in the regulations that addresses this process called 510K. So you'll hear people, I'm sure you're familiar with this, they just call them a 510K, and that's what that is.
And Robert, from I don't know if you've heard or you have a specific number reference, but what I'd always heard that in terms of 510K submissions, that anywhere from 45 to 48% of them are denied. I think 2018 was the last data I looked at, oftentimes just because of something being wrong in the submission in one of the sections that was left out.
Yes, exactly. And in fact, there's a screening process that I'll mention in a minute where the FDA will kick it back to you if it doesn't even have all the basic elements they expect to see.
Right.
Sometimes these are like new companies that have not written the 510K before. I am familiar with startup companies where they haven't hired a regulatory person yet. So a well-meaning CEO says, I can put this together. And, is doing his best. He puts together a 510K, but doesn't know the nuances, hasn't read the guidance documents or whatever else. And FDA sends it back to him.
And we, I run into leaders in scenarios just like what you talked about. It was a startup, the CEO or the VP, they end up getting involved in it. And maybe it's something as simple as, okay, this is maybe an implant. It doesn't have a software application, but you still have to have that section of the 510K in, and that there's nothing there to put in. You have to note that. You can't just not have it in there.
Right. You've got to show FDA that you have thought about that you addressed that issue.
Right.
They are kind of checklist oriented. They want to go down and make sure, has the company looked into this, and this. And if it is not applicable, put it in there and say it's not applicable. Don't just leave it out.
Hear me, won't you speak to me when I open up? And I forward my thoughts to you, but sometimes I say you're thinking too much, and I don't wanna.